This is an educational podcast, or EduCast, created by Jim House, Assistant Professor of Computer Science and Communication Arts Technology at Allegheny College of Maryland. For more information about Allegheny College of Maryland, please visit us on the web at allegheny.edu. Software is sold in some surprising places. You might find graphics software at your local art supply store. Your favorite beauty salon might carry Cosmopolitan's makeup and hairstyle makeover software. You might even find homeopathic medicine software on sale at a health food store. Of course, software is also available from traditional sources including office stores, computer superstores, electronics superstores, and discount stores, as well as local computer stores. You can buy software from mail order catalogs, the software publisher's website, and software download sites. Regardless of how you obtain a new software package, you must install it on your computer before you can use it. That's the first topic in this podcast. From time to time, you might want to eliminate some of the software on your computer. The procedure for uninstalling software is the second topic in this podcast. This podcast ends with a discussion of software copyrights, important information that will help you understand the difference between legal and illegal software copying. The key ingredients necessary to install new software are the files that contain the programs and data. These files might be supplied on a distribution media, one or more CDs or DVDs that are packaged in a box along with the instruction manual. The files might also be supplied as an internet download that contains program modules and a text of the instruction manual. Tucked away at the software publisher's website or printed on the software package, you'll find system requirements, which specify the operating system and the minimum hardware capacities necessary for the software product to work correctly. When you install software, the new software files are placed in the appropriate folders on your computer's hard disk, and then your computer performs any software or hardware configurations necessary to make sure the program is ready to run. During the installation process, your computer usually performs the following activities. It copies files from the distribution media or downloads files to specified folders on the hard disk, uncompresses the files that have been distributed in a compressed format, analyzes the computer resources such as processor speed, RAM capacity, the hard disk capacity to verify they meet or exceed the minimum system requirements, analyzes the hardware components and peripheral devices to select appropriate device drivers, looks for any system files and players such as Internet Explorer, Windows Media Player that are required to run the programs but not supplied on the distribution media or download, updates necessary system files such as the Windows registry and the Windows Start menu with information about the new software. Windows software typically contains a setup program that guides you through the installation process. The installation process is slightly different for Windows software that you download. Usually all the files needed for the new software are zipped to consolidate them into one large file, which is compressed to decrease its size and reduce the download time. As part of the installation process, this downloaded file must be reconstituted or unzipped into the original collection of files. A downloadable file typically is set up as a self-installing executable file, self-extracting zip file, or non-executing zip file. A software patch is a small section of a program code that replaces part of the software you currently have installed. The term Service Pack, which usually applies to operating system updates, is a set of patches that correct problems and address security vulnerabilities. Patches and Service Packs are usually distributed via the internet and automatically install themselves when you download them. It's always a good idea to install patches and Service Packs when they become available. Operating systems such as Windows and Mac OS include an uninstall routine which deletes the software files from various folders on your computer's hard disk. The uninstall routine also removes references to the program from the desktop and from the operating system files such as the file system, and in the case of Windows, the Windows registry. A copyright is a form of legal protection that grants the author of an original work an exclusive right to copy, distribute, sell, and modify that work, except under special circumstances described by copyright laws. Most software displays a copyright notice on one of its screens. This notice is not required by law, however, so programs without a copyright notice are still protected by copyright law. A software license or license agreement is a legal contract that defines the ways in which you can use the computer program. Typically, computer owners purchase the right to use software that's distributed under a single user license that limits the use of software to only one person at a time. Schools, organizations, and businesses sometimes purchase a site license, multiple user license, or concurrent use license, which allows more than one person to use the software. A shrink wrap license goes into effect as soon as you open the packaging. An installation agreement is displayed on screen when you first install the software. After reading the software license on the screen, you can indicate that you accept the terms of the license by clicking a designated button, usually labeled OK, I agree, or I accept. If you don't accept the terms, the software doesn't load and you won't be able to use it. Commercial software is typically sold in computer stores or at websites. Although you buy this software, you actually purchase only the right to use it under the terms of the software license. A license for commercial software typically adheres closely to the limitations provided by copyright law. Although it might give you permission to install the software on a computer at work and on a computer at home, provided that you use only one of them at a time. Shareware is copyrighted software marketed under a try before you buy policy. It typically includes a license that permits you to use the software for a trial period. To use it beyond the trial period, you must pay a registration fee. Freeware is copyrighted software that, as you might expect, is available for free. Because the software is protected by copyright, you can't do anything with it that's not expressly allowed by copyright law or by the author. Typically, the license for freeware permits you to use the software, copy it, and give it away, but does not permit you to alter it or resell it. Many utility programs, device drivers, and some games are available as freeware. Open source software makes the uncompiled program instructions and the source code available to programmers who want to modify and improve the software. Open source software may be sold or distributed free of charge in compiled form, but it must in every case also include the source code. Linux is an example of open source software. Public domain software is not protected by copyright because the copyright has expired or the author has placed the program in the public domain, making it available without restriction. Public domain software may be freely copied, distributed, and even resold. The primary restriction on public domain software is that you're not allowed to apply for a copyright on it. This has been an EduCast podcast brought to you by Jim House and Allegheny College of Maryland.